Hey there, patriots and wood heaters. I wanted to get back to you talking about central heating with a wood burning stove. The one that I'm looking at is the one that I have installed in my kitchen. In terms of the model there, I have the black one, and mine is with the oven on the left hand side, so it's like a mirror image of the one that we're looking at. The thing is that I wanted to get this system for my house already at the time I was building my batch rocket heater for the chicken pen. And just this last year I was able to install it, able to get the money for it, and the money for the chimney and what needs you. Now, what I want to talk about today is not really the installation of this stove. I'll get back to that in a separate video. But I do want to talk about something that is of grave importance, and that is, of course, that if you're going to be heating water in a central heating system with a stove, you need to be looking at measures of how to make sure that you have the water system running at all times, because otherwise you run a risk of overheating the system and well, some sort of explosion in the worst case. And specifically what I want to talk about is how to make sure that you have the heating running and the water pumps running even in case of lost electricity. We had a 18-hour electricity cut here where I live just less than a week ago, and it was a good thing I had this thing installed. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here we have the stove. Our gas stove is to the right, and if you look at it, this is, like I said, a mirror image of the one that we were looking at in the brochure. To the left, you will see those green pipes, which are for the central water heating. And specifically, I would want to ask you to look at the clock there, and that is the temperature for the central heating water. That's in centigrade. It's in the ballpark of 45 degrees centigrade at the present moment. Then onwards and upwards we have the pipes that go to the central heating. All the way they run at the ceiling level. It splits into two different, one to the left and one to the right, for obvious reasons, because this is in the center of the house. And you will also see that I have a little gadget there for temperature readings over the phone. Quite a handy thing. Now, getting to the heart of the matter, there we have the circulation pump, a Danfoss running at give or take 3 watts. I have also room for expansion there, as you can see, but that's not the point. The point is that where the white wire from the Danfoss leads, that's what we want to talk about today. And this is, of course, what we have at the end of that white wire. The inverter, the battery charger, and the battery itself. And of course, since we're talking about quite a hefty battery there, you do want to have some kind of on-off switch. The thing is that, like I said, just last week we had a 18-hour cut in electricity. So whether you're on grid or off grid, it really doesn't matter. You do need some kind of system by which you're going to be operating your water circulation in the central heating system. And what I've decided to do here is that I run it all the time through this system. So if there is ever a cut in electricity, there's no glitch in the system. The system will keep on running as it does without any problems. This is an used, quite old truck battery, and it's a hefty one for that, 230 amp hours. So what I have calculated here is that I can run the system quite a long time, irrespective of whether there is electricity or not. And it's a 12 volt system. From the blue color you will be able to know the brand make of these. They're Victrons, and as you can see in this picture, I have decided to put them in a horizontal position, the charger and the inverter, and that's based on how they recommend you to place the inverter. They don't recommend to place the inverter with the fan side up, so I decided that I'll just go ahead and place them both horizontally above one another. That way I could also have quite a short run with the wires. The specific machines there, the charger is a Blue Smart and 15 amp charger. There's one output, and this is one of the versions which you can then control with the Victron smartphone app. Pretty handy, must admit. The wiring for the system is 10 square millimeters, which would correspond to an 8 gauge wire. Something odd about the charger was that they didn't supply any wires, so you need to get them yourself. The inverter, 12 volts, 500 watt or volt amperes, and it's a pure sine wave. I think there's no need to take any risks and going with the square sine waves, so I'd rather have this one pure. It is the central heart of the whole system. When it's running, it's running. If it ain't, it ain't. So no chances there, no skimping. What I did then was I ran one of these consumption meters, and here you can see at 19 hours and 38 minutes the wattage was 0.17 kilowatt hours. So when you're thinking about the system which is running at 3 watts, I guess the figures are pretty close to realistic, and it's looking good. Like I said, we had this cut in electricity last week for 18 hours, and I didn't have a glitch in the system. It worked really nicely. The only thing that I need to consider here is, of course, the fact that this is a really old battery that I'm running. We're talking 10 years now, but it seems to be in a good charge, 13.2 volts, and it dropped quite quickly from that, but then after the initial drop it was able to keep its charge, so hopefully we're okay there. Anyway, thanks for watching and hope you subscribe. Take care, all the best.